Welcome to our latest Wandering Walks of Wonder adventure. Today we're headed for a special walking tour of Mackinac Island in way far north Michigan. Mackinac Island has a long and rich history that dates back thousands of years. The first known inhabitants of the island were the Anishinaabe people who called it Michilimackinac, meaning Great Turtle Island. The island was a strategic location for trade and transportation, and it was soon visited by European explorers including Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet. Again, this is the first of a three-part tour of Mackinac Island. Make sure to take a look for the other two videos, and we'll learn a little bit more about the history of the island as well as seeing some of the more beautiful sights. Our first stop on today's walking tour is Trinity Episcopal Church. This church was built in 1882 and is one of the island's most popular tourist attractions. It's a beautiful Gothic Revival-style church with a white exterior and a red roof. As we can see, the inside of the church is just as impressive with stained glass windows, a walnut altar, and a pipe organ.
Okay, so the exit is going down. Yeah, you guys want to, we probably won't.
In the 17th century, the French established a fur trading post on Mackinac Island. The island became a major center for the fur trade, and it was also a key military outpost. The British took control of the island during the 7 Years' War from 1756 to 1763, but the Americans regained it after the American Revolutionary War that ended in 1783. One of the more historic buildings on Mackinac Island is the American Fur Company store. This store was built in 1820 and was once the retail outlet for the American Fur Company, one of the largest fur trading companies in the United States. This store is now a museum which tells the story of the fur trade on Mackinac Island. This is the McGulpin House. It's one of the oldest structures on Mackinac Island, and it dates back to about 1780 or so. The house was originally built in the French-Canadian style and was once the home of William McGulpin, a baker for the American Fur Company. We're now heading down Market Street, where we'll see some of the most historic homes here on Mackinac Island. Mackinac Island was a strategic location again during the War of 1812. In 1812, a British force captured Fort Mackinac from the Americans. This gave the British control of the Straits of Mackinac, which is a vital waterway that connects Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. The Americans eventually regained control of the island, but the War of 1812 helped to solidify Mackinac Island's importance as a strategic location. Mackinac Island Post Office is a small one-room building that was constructed in 1899. It's a National Historic Landmark and one of the few remaining post offices in the United States that's still operating in its original building. Just past the post office is the Robert Stewart House that was constructed in 1817. When the War of 1812 ended, John Jacob Astor established the Northern Departmental Headquarters of the American Fur Company on Mackinac Island. Robert Stewart served as the company's resident manager and used this house as his home and office. The American Fur Company warehouse that was constructed in 1810 is where a small army of clerks processed fur pelts such as mink, muskrat, otter, and especially beaver. The old Mackinac County Courthouse, which was constructed in 1839, now serves as the Mackinac Island Police Department and jail and houses the historic city council chambers on the second floor. Although most legal battles were petty squabbles and minor criminal acts now lost to antiquity, one trial here established legal history. In the case of the People versus Pond, the defendant was convicted of murder for killing a man who was in the act of destroying one of Pond's outbuildings. In the appeal to the Michigan Supreme Court, Augustus Pond was free because, in the words of the court, quote, a man's house is his castle, and he is entitled to use forceful means to protect it. This is the Biddle House. It's also home to the Native American Museum here on Mackinac Island. It was once the home of Agatha and Edward Biddle, who came to the island around 1830. Of note is that Agatha was a Native American, and this museum tells the continuing story of Native Americans in northern Michigan. It tells the stories of battles won and lost, promises made and broken, and cultures repressed and now becoming more resurgent. As we continue down Market Street, it's kind of important to remember, and you can see by the number of people and beautiful cottages, that Mackinac Island became a popular tourist attraction after the War of 1812. The island's natural beauty and its historic landmarks attracted visitors from all over the world. In the late 19th century, Mackinac Island became a popular summer resort for wealthy families. The island's hotels, cottages, and restaurants, many of which you can still see today throughout the island, cater to the needs of these visitors. You'll also notice as we've gone along the walk, you see no cars because the island is car-free and it makes it a really peaceful and relaxing place to visit. So we head up to the Grand Hotel. This is to take a look at the Little Stone Church, which is a congregational church that was constructed in the Gothic Revival style in 1904. The church is made of local fieldstone and has a steeply pitched roof. As we can see, the interior of the church is simple and unadorned, with pews made of pine and a pulpit made of oak. The Little Stone Church is a popular wedding venue and is also used for concerts and other events. Our final stop on our tour here in Mackinac Island, the first part of our tour, remember there's 2 other tours that you can see of Mackinac Island, but we're going to stop here and take a look at the Grand Hotel. This historic hotel was built in 1887. It's one of the most popular tourist destinations in the entire state of Michigan. The hotel was built by the Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad and the Detroit and Cleveland Steamship Navigation Company as a summer resort for wealthy families. The hotel was designed by Detroit architects Mason and Rice in the Victorian style. It's a 700-room hotel with a 600-foot-long porch, which is the longest porch in the world. The hotel also has a ballroom, a spa, a golf course, gardens, and much more. Over its history, the Grand Hotel has hosted a number of notable guests, including 5 U.S. presidents, inventor Thomas Edison, and author Mark Twain. The hotel was also the site of the 1905 wedding of Theodore Roosevelt's daughter Alice. For those of you who really watch movies, you may recognize this hotel as being a key part in the 1979 film Somewhere in Time that starred Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour. Somewhere in Time is the story of a man who goes back in time to meet the woman of his dreams. This hotel made the perfect backdrop for the story, which was set in 1912. As we enjoy the gardens here at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Keep in mind this is the first of 3 walks here on Mackinac Island, so make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can see those other walks. Take care now. Bye-bye.